And we're live here again, folks, at the corner for episode 48, trying to push that number to
Yeah.
50 before the year's end. Um,
48,
48, man.
motherfuckers. And
And
we're sober as a nun.
well, I think like Alexander has like had like a little bit to drink, and I've had a pint and a half of 20 proof Indian Pale Ale. Moving on to the famous Grouse Vintage Malt Whiskey from 1989 now. Uh,
Let me read to you guys a message that I received here for 2 hours ago. What was it? What was it? Let me just find it here. Um. What? Shit! That's all the text! And I just polished up a bottle of Bison IPA, 0.75 liters, 10%. Yes, reading is going to have to wait. As a time like this, it is time for reflection. And reflection, my brother, you could not be less wrong. A time for reflection it is now.
it did, man. Like, what have you like been thinking about today? By the way.
Been thinking. Actually, now I re-listened to the 22nd
All
episode
right,
of
right.
of the corner that was
Uh,
but while I was doing laundry.
Now, like,
Fuck man, I had a lot of laundry too.
I've been like thinking about something, and like I've recently been coming across of all these articles of like people between 25 and 30 being fucking unemployed and complaining about their life, right?
Mm.
Due to the corona crisis,
And
especially.
yet they're still living in big ass mansions
Yeah,
like
yeah, and this
and fucking lighting those expensive wax candles every night that they paid
yeah, man,
for,
yeah.
45
Uh,
45.95 for the
exactly,
local
exactly.
IKEA.
That's what
What
that's what like like this is what is like so fucking surreal to me. Like, and also
Oh no! Oh
this
no!
was
I hate my life so
this
much.
this was
I just burned my hand on the wax from the expensive candles.
this
I hate my
was
life.
this was in a Norwegian newspaper, and specifically from the county the county Ullersmo, where Gardermoen, which is, if you don't know, it's the Oslo airport, where now
Gesundheit.
yeah, which now like has like the highest unemployment rate in Norway, due to like the workplaces that this airport contributes, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, like as I am reading, I am thinking, what the actual fuck? Because like this dude is like complaining and getting the money that he needs from like unemployment or whatever, right? Still lives in his fine apartment and uses his day on watching TV and going out fishing. Yeah, yeah. He takes his car and he like like drives up to the mountains with his wader pants on to fish, or drives to the coast to fish, right?
Yeah, but that sounds quite chill
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm sitting here and like thinking, what the fuck are you complaining about?
What the fuck? This is the guy that we were talking about that's complaining?
Yeah, this is the guy that
What
was
the
complaining, like, and
fuck,
being like,
man?
fucking depressing, being about the job, right?
Oh my.
And like, I don't know, I have no words. And like, and like I've told you before,
And he
like,
has a car and everything
yeah, yeah, he
too.
has a
Like, what
car and
the
everything, yes. And like, as I've told you before, like, yeah, it sucks, like, for people being unemployed and so on, right?
Mm.
But like, I want to like rephrase my answer on that as, it sucks more if you're living in a country without, like, infrastructure, and without a functioning welfare system to support you, the net, right? Than
Mm.
if you're unemployed in, say, Scandinavia, like Norway, Sweden, or Denmark, as there is a safety net in place, probably in Germany too, by the way, to fetch you if you're like unemployed, and to make sure that you're not going to go homeless, right?
Mm.
So, and like if you look at this in the perspective, if you have access to water, like water running in your sink, your sewage plumbing system, and a roof over your head plus electricity, you're already richer than 80% of the world's population.
Yeah.
Think about that, right? And
Yeah.
still there's like motherfuckers like this complaining, like, yeah, like I get it. It sucks being unemployed and stuff, but if you still like have all the bases covered, then you shouldn't really complain. I mean, like, I didn't complain much when I was unemployed for months on end. And like, like, because again, what the fuck good?
Yeah, just a little bit. I remember that.
A
Just
little bit,
a little bit,
a little
but
bit.
not bitching and whining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, not
But I
not.
mean, you can understand the like the frustration of
I can,
not having a purpose.
I can,
Like
I can.
that you can understand, but
I'm not.
not when people not when people are starting to bitch. Not when people are starting to bitch about, oh no, I don't have the money to buy that fucking Ford, that new Ford model of a car that I don't have because I only drive my Suzuki Swift
Or a PlayStation 5, right?
or a PlayStation 5 because I still have to I'm still on PS3, my 10-year-old PS3, which I have to play on. What a fucking great tragedy.
Yeah, these
What
these
the
uh,
fuck?
these are things like that I don't understand. Like, yeah, I understand it sucks
Uh,
being unemployed, but if you're unemployed, or if like I've been unemployed in a Scandinavian country with the safety net catching me, then I would in nowhere near dream about, like, yeah, now I'm going to go to the news to complain about this and call newspapers and write shit.
mm,
Right? If you can follow me here, because no matter what,
yeah.
it's not going to help you bitching. It's not. If like, if you are in the situation of being unemployed, then yeah, it kind of like sucks, but you need to improvise, adapt, and overcome that issue. And you need to figure
Yeah,
out
yeah,
and you need to figure out
definitely.
and you need to figure out how you're going to do that. How are you going to improvise? What you're going to do, right? And how are you going to adapt to this new situation? Are you just going to be like, like, oh, fuck it, man, I'm just going to go up and hang myself in one of these beams, or go unemployed? Or are you going to overcome that fact and adapt to it and be like, okay, I need to like figure out either another skill I can shape and develop to get a job, or I need to figure out a skill that I can shape and develop, to go in business for myself. These are the options you have. Like, that's the three options you have. Like, either those two, or go up and hang yourself in one of the beams. And by instinct, I don't really think that it's that many of us that would choose the fucking beam option. You know, because because it is in our nature
I
to
mean,
survive.
the way, man, let's fucking think about that fucking expression about it's not that many of us that would choose the beam option. That's fucking brilliant way to put it there. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you were on a long rant there, and I gotta admit I only like followed half of it because I don't know, it reached new heights there. But yeah, I get the general point in that we have
we
yeah, I don't know
we
what
are.
the fuck I wanted to say.
You wanted to say that we are survivors by instinct,
Yeah,
right? And that like, no matter what, like, everybody would still fight to get that job, or to feel productive, and like have a purpose in their life, right? Like this guy
yeah,
is like going fucking fishing in the mountains every day, right? he
oh
still
yeah,
he
that's
still he
true.
still he still has a purpose, right? Or he should still
Yeah.
feel like he has a purpose.
Yeah.
And like to be mentioning, like he also seemed quite fit going to the gym, also, So it's not like he was only sitting on the couch watching TV every day. So I don't know. Like
But
people,
that's
yeah,
it.
people need to like fucking learn that that there's always a way out, right? There's always a way out.
Yeah,
But
and when we're talking about purpose, I mean, purpose is such a uh, odd concept. I actually have a perfect metaphor for that. Like it's the purpose is like a 15-sided octagon.
yeah,
Like just let's take that in. Like it just means that the purpose of a human being can be so many different things, and it can be surreal too. It can be something that doesn't even exist. But it's your job to kind of like figure out how to make it make your purpose exist.
yeah, yeah.
And
Of
like
course, of
for
course.
like to someone, the purpose could be to just to run their business. And like for a lot of people, and a lot of these greedy stressing people in the financial world, all their purpose is just seeing the numbers go up, seeing like, hey, we got 20% more, hey, now we got to 30% more, hey, and as long as we go up, then our purpose is fulfilled. But for other people, the purpose can just be simply having going for a run every day, or every week, or even every month, if
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah,
if you're
yeah.
not that like. But yeah, like the point is that that concept purpose can have so many different facets and and ways to that it proves itself.
Of course
I
it
don't
can.
know.
Of
I
course
don't
it
know if
can.
that makes sense. But
No,
yeah,
yeah, no, no, that makes sense. But also, like in aspect of that, that if you like only have one thing to do, like let's say that you're only running, then that can also become like quite monotone and depressive and such, right?
hmm,
So in order to like feel
yeah,
purpose in
and
your
then
life, you would need variations. You would
and
need
then it
to variations of what you're doing.
and that's you can feel like you have a point and purpose for a few days or a few weeks even, or a few months, and you feel really good, and I'm going forward with my life. But then when it starts to get that monotone feeling, that fucking routine, and stuff starts to become boring, then it gets pointless again. What you actually thought was what was your purpose now has becomes purposeless and pointless,
Of course, and
because it gets into a routine, and it gets. And I'm not saying, I mean, routines are essential to human beings, because without routines we lose ourselves in chaos.
of
But I'm just
course,
saying that routines are also boring,
yeah,
because
you need to variate the routines,
yeah,
in
yeah,
order to
exactly.
feel in order to feel this level of productivity.
Yeah.
In
Or at least there needs to be something that feels new about the routine that you're doing. Let's say you're going for a run every two times a week or something,
yeah,
and then you do that every week. Then you need to do something to keep that run interesting. Change up your route every now and then. Put on a different piece of music. Make a different piece of make even a playlist. Put playlist on shuffle. Make a different playlist that is of a different genre music.
yeah,
Um, do whatever the fuck you can to change up that routine while still maintaining the routine. That's probably the best way that you can keep going as a human being.
like
And
I
this
want
is
to,
actually something that
yeah,
I also thought about today. You asked me what I thought about today, and besides the thing that the 22nd episode of the corner that I listened to, but before that, I actually thought about um, this. this what makes no, now I lost thought. Damn, what a shame. Nope. Guess that will die with me now.
Okay, man, like I got like a perfect thing here to like say because when I was in New York a couple of years ago, I was like talking to
Mm.
this guy in his 50s, late 50s, that was like retiring or something, with his sailboat, and I was asking him, you know, well, how the fuck come you how the fuck come you're not depressive about that, right? That
Wow,
you got your
what the
sail,
fuck?
yeah, you got your sailboat, you got your bourbon, right? And then so yeah, I asked straight out, you know, like how do you feel how do you feel like any kind of like productivity in your life, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like thinking, you
And
know,
who was this again? Was
a
this
retired guy in America from New York,
okay.
right? So like at first I like thought that, you know, like, ah, shit, did I say something that offended this guy now, or is he never gonna talk to me again? But he actually, you know, like thought about this question for a few seconds, and then he said to me, you know what? That's a really good question. But no, I do feel productive because, you know, I got my sailboat there. Gonna sail around the world, gonna bang my wife and drink bourbon, and then there's a ton of other shit to do on a sailboat, like cleaning and cooking and following the navigation and shit. So like in retrospect, what he was like saying was that, you know, like he was making this thing, to be productive by the variation of tasks that he would be giving himself, right?
Yeah.
But like as I was like following up with him, is, you know, that saying that, you know, like a lot of retired folks, especially the older they become, like 60s, 70s, 80s, right? There tends to be a lot of depression and a lot of alcoholism because they
Mm.
suddenly don't have the jobs in their life anymore, and they end up, you know, like sitting in front of the tube, the TV box, at home, drinking whiskey,
Yeah, yeah, and that's just so
daydreaming.
dangerous too.
Yeah,
That's when you need to. That's when, like, yeah, sure, some people do that, but a lot of people also take up. That's when people take up a hobby, and you know, like a lot with a lot of men, it used to be like, and that used to be even a cultural thing. They take up golf. I feel like golf is a very much a 50-year-old, 60-year-old thing for men that have retired and are now pursuing this because they need to have something to do. They need to have a new purpose in their, and that comes golf for
sure it is.
whatever for whatever reason. But no, actually, now I got the what I wanted to talk about before that I forgot, that I thought was going to die with me, but now it's not. This thing that why is it that we only live for 40, 50 years back in the Middle Ages, or 100 years now if we're lucky with medical advances in technology? Why is it that we only live for 100 years max? It is because of this that we have talked about, because uh, life is going to be too boring to live longer than 100 years. Because
Yes,
you see, why is it that you feel this purposelessness and pointlessness? It is because you see the same shit over and over and over again, and unless you're a robot who has no feelings, we humans are conditioned to start getting bored of all this. Like, fuck, man, you like pouring the same cup of coffee for the thousandth time when you're like 42, or not, no, for like even more, for like the 106,000th time, 116,000th time when you're 42. Doesn't that get boring? Yes, of course it does, because we're humans and we're like conditioned to get bored. Have you ever thought about this?
yeah, I have, but that's not the only reason, though. I mean, if you're like looking at it theoretically, then the human organs could potentially like go as long and last up till 150 years, right? But
There's no one who's lived for 150
no,
years.
no, but I'm saying like theoretically the human organs could survive for 150 years, the human organs in your
Yeah,
body, right? Yeah.
the
But
organs, but
but
that's like that's a whole different
but what
because like
like let me finish, man. And
yeah,
then
okay.
what happens is that like all these organs in your body is like kind of like batteries. They have an expiration date, and the more you use your body, even if you're exercising or eating the correct diet or something, right, you're still using them, right? And it has like
Yeah.
awareness like on them, so eventually they start to power down, and you either need to get them replaced if possible, or you die. And this is like
Yeah.
some of the reason like why we only live to like we're in our early 80s, especially men, if we're lucky, because like like our body is eventually starting to shut down, right?
Yeah.
And like the question is like not only about like feeling productive and stuff in that matter when you get to that end of the scale, but it also becomes like how much can you muster to do physically. Like how much are you going to muster to do when you're 75 and every
Yeah.
inch of your body is aching? Not a hell of a lot. Instead, you're probably like you're going to end up not even like maybe you're going to play golf if you're lucky, but if you're unlucky, you're going to be sitting in that couch alone drinking whiskey, and just praying
Yeah.
or wishing
For
for your
sure.
life to end, right? That's how
Yeah,
that
unless you have other hobby. I mean, I'm not saying golf is the only thing. I mean, like golf. At the end of the day, golf is such a stereotypical cultural phenomenon. Uh, with like you have to play golf when you're retired, and when you're a white male who's retired, like that's such a stereotype. Um,
yeah,
like
no,
of
yeah,
course
yeah,
and like I will be the first one to advocate the fact that that is bullshit. I mean, take up whatever hobby you want. I mean, if you're into playing Hearthstone, you can do that when you're retired, or if you're into playing chess, do that, or if you're into um, even if you're into working out, like old man working, not fucking strong man working out in your 20s, but if you're into old man working out, do
yeah.
that.
Not
A lot
like
of old people do
not
this.
not like Alan Thrall working out.
Yeah, no. But like also a lot of old people do this. They Nordic walk this with these canes, these sticks,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they do that like in
Uh,
Better Call Saul actually.
there's
The stick figure.
there's also like a shit ton of old people, like getting an RV or camper, and like just driving around Europe, camping
Yeah,
place to camping place, which I also like think is a really healthy way of dealing with retirement. Like
yeah,
traveling, seeing new places and stuff.
yeah, definitely.
But regarding golf, have you ever tried it?
Yeah, but it's a long time ago, and
Man,
like I've mostly played mini golf, and that's completely different.
yeah, it is. With like
I
real golfing,
Yeah,
real golfing is so boring.
yeah, and
Like
also
holy shit, man.
yeah, completely. But also, you actually have to, in order to do the swing properly, that also takes a lot of technique, a lot more technique than mini golf.
Yeah, yeah,
Because, like, I remember, like, I probably tried like 10 or 15 times the first time I tried
yeah.
it, uh, where I didn't hit the ball at all. I was just like fucking missing it all the time.
Yeah,
Because, like,
like that's one thing, but like when you actually hit it, the next problem is to and you have that technique in place. Then the next problem is that you need the ball to land where you want it to.
yeah,
And then like how the fuck are you going to do that with like
yeah.
another thousand hours on the driving range swinging that club, right? Oh
I
no, man,
mean,
no
I
man.
guess that's I guess that's why they have this thing called golf. Is it called a handicap?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. So that's why they have this rating or rate. I don't know what the fuck it's called, a handicap. Anyway, it's a rating system that you use to determine how good you are. One of my friends from elementary school actually. This is interesting, and I haven't thought about him for a long time. Don't know. I'm just gonna call him. Now we're just gonna remain him nameless. He actually had a handicap of 7.
That's
And
man.
that was in elementary school. That was when he was 12 years old.
Let's call him Blondie, like Clint Eastwood in those movies where you don't have a
Yeah,
name. So
yeah,
you know, like,
yeah,
so you're saying that Blondie had like a handicap of 7?
yeah, of
Like,
7, and that was
why?
when he was 12 years old because his father would take him onto all these golf courses every now and then, then they would train, and he would just like develop this insane skill and technique in it.
Oh God.
Uh, and I don't know. I haven't talked to him since fuck since I was
Uh, did
since I
he?
was since I was I think since I was 17. Yeah, the last time I talked to him, I was 17.
So
What the fuck? That's 10 years ago.
so you don't
Shit.
you don't know if this dude actually ended up turning pro?
No, no idea. But then again, I have his Facebook account information, so I can
Right.
see here. I'm just gonna pull him up. Not, I will not say his name, but I'll just
Well, let's call him Blondie. So
yeah,
you know.
Blondie. So Blondie is apparently studied some marketing and business innovation.
Okay, yeah, like that makes sense. Because
That
like
kind of.
I've talked to some golf teachers and coaches and stuff that mean that that they can get like into you into competitive mode. Like being that good at competing with a year's training. For years training of intensive golf, you can be a competitor in golf. But
Uh,
like I told them, like that time it was that okay, sure. I spend a year here with 8 hours a day on the range and stuff, and I become a competitor. Then that still doesn't mean that I can live off it
no,
because they can't
no,
guarantee because
no, no.
they can't guarantee you that you're going to win the first prize or second prize or hell even the third
I mean,
prize, right?
who the fuck ever became a professional golfer in their retirement age and wanted to live off of it? I mean,
No, no, like, but like, yeah, not like that. I don't know, like that's just my fucked up brain of like thinking that if I'm going to do something that I would want to like see it through all the way, 100%, and become as good as I could in it, right?
yeah,
To master the kung fu and that skill, right?
if
But
you were good at it,
yeah,
yeah.
if I were good at it, but like if I'm not good at something or I can't feel a passion for that one thing, then my brain is like telling me, why the fuck even bother, right? If it's not passionate
Yeah,
and it's not something
yeah,
that you're good at, why bother?
yeah, true,
And
completely.
yeah, and like this is probably like why I like fallen back from the idea of studying again because I'm not because like I'm like weighing value to me, right?
Yeah.
And the time that it would take to master, like whatever fucking skill that I would choose to study.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it just takes a spurt of inspiration at some point, like it just has to take some moment where you're sitting and realizing that moment of realization that, uh, hey, this I have actually been good at for quite a few years now. Why don't I just pursue that? I'm not saying that you will sit and you will realize that yeah, this
No,
thing I want to try, that's just spontaneous. But now you can have this moment where you realize that you've actually been good at something for years,
yeah, that you're
like I had with writing and editing as well. That has just always been something that was on
okay.
standby for me.
So you're telling me that you just out of the blue, randomly had an epiphany.
Yeah,
Had an epiphany, and they're like,
yeah,
"Oh
okay, no,
shit,
yeah, no,
man!"
okay. I'll revise myself. No, it's not one moment. Nothing in life is ever one fucking moment.
No,
But okay, let's say several moments, and split over a couple of like random days over the year. Uh, fuck, fuck, man. If I know how the universe is distributing these days in the universe where I feel, this I can actually do good, then 3 weeks later on the same day 3 weeks later I get the same realization, and then 2 days later after that I get the same realization, and then 4 months later I get the same realization. Who am I to say how the fuck that is how the fuck that is determined? But I'm just saying it happened, that you have these string of moments where you have the realization, I'm good at this, and
oh
then
man,
it
oh,
it just takes enough of these fucking moments to say, yeah, I'm good at that, and I'm just gonna fucking do that. And
man, I'm
like
missing
I'm
that.
not, and I'm not saying that like fuck man, I haven't ever been published, but damn man, I have a fucking folder of 270 Word documents with ideas for fucking stories that, like, I mean, there's so much potential in my fucking brain and in these stories that I can write anytime. I just need to have the time, and I need to have the time for it, and I don't need to have some bullshit be on my fucking head saying you have you have to deliver this shit for university because that's what society wants to do,
But
you know.
it's not society. It's you who chose to take a BA in German.
Yeah, but why did I choose that?
Because no, no,
Because
you
of
chose.
no, because of society's ideas that you have to take an education in order to be accepted on the
Why?
job market.
Why? And you
Why?
don't even have a guarantee that that is going
Because
to
it's
that's going to be.
everywhere. Look around you, man. Look around you, man. You have fucking, especially in Denmark, in this country, you have fucking this website, educational guide, Uddannelsesguiden, that is always there, fucking listing every single education and all the job opportunities. And then you
Yeah,
have these guidance
you
counselors
know,
that try to
I'm starting to
convince
like.
you.
Can I get the torture? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm starting to think that, like, all that's bullshit. Because, and here's why, all that's bullshit.
Wow.
Because
You
no
need
matter.
to say that. No, but you need to say that with more emphasis because
Okay, I will say it like one more time for the crowd there. All that's bullshit. And here's why, folks. Because no matter what you do, no matter what education that you do, except for like a few, like maybe like some military educations, but except for that, then there is no guarantee that you'll ever get a job, even though it says that, like, this education is the shit and you'll definitely get a job paying $50,000 or $70,000 a year doing this. Because it's not all about that. It's not all about that, because when you finally finish college and you get out there, then you'll realize that, oh shit, all of a sudden I'm also like competing on a job market with 500 other players in the game that has 5 years of experience under the belt plus more education than me in the field, right?
mm,
And all of a sudden you're being passed through, and you're becoming like in the bottom of that pile. So like all these statistics and stuff is like just being taken out from whoever's working in that field regarding the education right now, and what they are earning, and how the job markets looks for them, right? But
yeah,
but that's not accurate, considering like how the job market looks for a freshly graduated college kid. Because for that
yeah. But
freshly because
what
wait
it?
man wait man wait man
Okay.
because for that freshly graduated college kid, the whole fucking country would be red, not blue, not blue. fucking red.
Wait, what do you mean red?
You know, like on the page that you're like talking about, utdannelsesguide, education guide. Then
Yeah.
then it is blue for very good, light blue for good, yellow for not so good but okay, and then right,
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. So no, then
Yeah.
the whole fucking map should be red because like that's the realism in things, and that's why I'm also working in a warehouse in a factory, and the last factory that I worked with several motherfuckers with high educational background operating a forklift.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like that's the reality of what you should be expecting, because in addition to all this, when you're going out for a job, then it's also an expectation that your mind, your personality will be a fit, a match for the company that you're going to apply for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. You can follow me in that because
I mean that's true. That's true. But the thing is, like, um, and I don't think either of us are really qualified to talk about this because, like, we don't have the solution, and most importantly, we don't have a solution because we don't have the knowledge of what it is society actually needs. So yeah, no, like yeah, but nonetheless, I want to
no,
ask
but
you,
again, man,
what is it that you see that society needs?
it's not about what the society needs. It's about what the fucking society wants.
Yeah, but no,
But but what
that
the
doesn't matter. But oh yeah, but I don't fucking care about that. I'm asking you now. What do you think society needs? Because I'm also.
society needs to be more fucking chilled out. Instead of
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
thinking,
Fuck that. No, like no, I know that.
instead of
I know that.
thinking,
Yeah, right.
instead of thinking, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
like what I told you about earlier,
No, but that's
with
a.
the lion biding its time, being chill,
Yeah.
and then you're just using a few seconds to show that it's the king of the jungle. That's what
No, yeah,
society.
yeah,
That's what the society needs to learn from. That the lion or the society
yeah.
does not need to be some fucking endless powering machine powering through like you gotta fucking
Yeah.
work, you know, do this like right. That's
Yeah, yeah.
but society don't understand that. Instead it is like trying to be like this fucking endless force that don't quit, that is just going to power through, that is going to do the opposite of slowing its roll, right?
Yeah, and that I know. I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, people like there's way too much speed going through society these days, and way too much competition. I know that, and I'm qualified to say that. But what I'm just fishing for here is what job specifically does society need? Because we as we talked about also, I think on earlier episodes, is that a lot we have so much technology that is taking over a lot of these manual labor jobs. I mean, who knows how many years it is before forklift jobs are replaced too by some fucking Tesla company, Elon Musk company who's making now in 2025 we made these self-driving trucks. 2030 we're gonna make some self-driving forklift. 2035 we're going to make self dependent warehouses that are only run on AI, on robotics, on like these on the tread no not the treadmill,
okay, man,
the
I got the
what do you call it,
answer.
the Ford's
The hamster wheel. Yeah, I
no
know.
no 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 Ford's, what the fuck do you call it, the production treadmill plane. No, what the fuck?
Yeah, but fuck all that. I got the answer. I
I
got the
don't know.
answer for you. Just shut up, man. Like here's the
Uh,
answer for you, man. Then it should be implement. What the society needs then is to implement a new kind of norm. You know, like how when if you're running a forest industry, like as a lumberjack in Europe or at least like in Northern Europe, and you're cutting down trees, then
Yeah.
you're also like pledging that you will like put a seed down and sow and grow another tree for every fucking tree that you cut down, right?
Yeah.
Leveling the balance in the ecosystem. And it should be the same shit
Yeah.
for the ecosystem regarding workers and jobs. That for every fucking job that you take away, then you need to create a new one. Or two new ones.
Yeah,
Right?
but people are not thinking, especially CEOs. That's what I also wrote to you before.
Yeah.
CEOs are not thinking about that. They're just thinking about how can I get my money together? How can I optimize my profits? So and how can I implement more technology and so that I can fire as many workers as possible and just instead mindless robots and machines instead, so that I can earn more money.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
this is 1%.
Well,
That was
that's
1% of the fucking of the human population is thinking, or even less than that. 0.10% of the world's population is thinking that way. How can I? How can I?
yeah.
How can I make?
That's
How can I? Basically, what
yeah.
they're saying is, how can I make robots produce all the shit, get me all the money, so that all these fucking poor fappers can purchase my products, and then I can grow and I can have $300 billion in an offshore account while these motherfuckers are starving on fucking worms.
Well, unfortunately, that is the human nature of things because we as humans tend to think about profit and money before we think about the consequences of that choice.
But
And
there
that's
should that's why I'm suggesting the solution. There should be fucking laws. Like, for instance, the first thing that I also wrote about tonight to you in the chat was uh, we should fucking start making it illegal to outsource jobs to China and India. Because what
yeah,
they're
but
doing
that's
down there in fucking China country is immoral, is stupid. You cannot fucking employ teenage workers to work 5 cents an hour in order to because you have so many fucking people in order to fucking increase output and then take the jobs from the rest of the world. Fuck that.
yeah. But the problem is like I just said that like as humans, we tend to think profit and money before we think about consequences. So that's a fact that we're first going to start
Yeah,
realizing as
yeah, no,
humans
no,
when
no,
it's
yeah, yeah,
too
but
late.
that,
Please let me
but
finish. Please let me finish. So when it's like too late, and you're seeing like the unemployment rate start plummeting in our countries, and more people going unemployed and stuff, then the politicians will wake up and be thinking like, oh damn, might be something we need to fucking do here before this country goes to shit, right? Because
and
all of
that
the
and
sudden
that
all of a sudden you will like have 50% of the population of a country drawing on the government box for tax money for unemployment benefits, right? And that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, and the solution to that is, because we need to get that in there, because what you listed for the last 3 minutes was just catastrophe and the human, and this is human nature, and like, but there's not a solution in there. But the solution to that is then just fucking make it illegal to outsource businesses to the rest of the world. Just fucking
Yeah,
take
yeah,
home the
no,
fucking jobs.
I completely
Take home
I
the
completely
you
agree.
you make fucking laws that state businesses, and I am not a fucking lawyer, but there is a fucking way. I mean, like, fuck,
And
if you're a
like
lawyer like Saul Goodman, you can fucking make it happen.
I can see
Just
what you're saying. I can see what you're saying, but like here's the consequences
put down
to that fact.
sanctions.
Here's
Put down sanctions and
well
laws
that
that say, if you put part of your production overseas, then you're not allowed to exist in this country.
well
And
hold
sure,
the phone for a minute, Troy,
all
and then
right,
let me say something here. like sure, like you could do that, but what's the consequence to this reaction again? As every action has a similar a reaction, right? And the consequence here, the reaction to doing something like that, is that you're going to up the consumer price index. You're going to make stuff more expensive. Right?
Blah blah
And
blah
then,
blah blah. But
and
now
then,
we're talking about profits again. We're
yeah,
talking about no, the price is going to be so expensive, and then we will lose our profits. Now we're talking like a CEO again.
No,
Like,
we're talking
who has
about
to forfeit his $10 million.
we're talking
because
about
the consumer price index.
We're talking about how it would be for the average person to survive, right? If the person with an average salary in Denmark would all of a sudden have to spend 25% more money on food, groceries, and things, then it starts to kind of be unbearable. So then you're talking about lowering taxes, and what's the action or the consequence of that again, right? That's the problem, man. It's always, like an action and a reaction and an opposite reaction to that again, like an endless evil circle. But yeah, man, you have some final words to say before we end the episode for tonight?
What the fuck? Are we going to end it here on this climax? On this climax of a fucking discussion? What the fuck?
Okay, man. We can keep going, and then you can say your piece before we end it. That's fine.
Wow, fuck, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, I thought about it could be like a to be continued for like a next episode.
Well, then I at least have to get my counter argument out there. So because this is probably your trick, right, on this podcast. So let's shut this down now, so he will forget the counter argument. No, but my counter argument is actually quite simple now that I realize it. What does consumer price index mean?
Well, the consumer price index is what everything in your country, like what the country that you're living in, what the prices is compared to the salary, right? And like in some countries.
And why is that going to? How is that going to fucking get bigger by not outsourcing to overseas?
Well, because the reason why we outsource to overseas, like China and India and Vietnam and stuff, is simple. It's because they can make a product cheaper than we can. Like, say for instance that you're like making chairs or kitchen tables and stuff, right?
But why can they do this? Because they have these fucking teenage workers that work for 5 cents an hour, which is degrading to humanity.
Not only that, but just because their average salary, right, is a fraction of what you're earning in Denmark. Like for instance, this one country.
And why is it that because they don't have laws that govern the minimum wage, because they're fine with just living in the slums and living like poor ass fucking people. And I don't know, man, that's their fucking business, but like that we take advantage of it is fucking vile.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, man.
It's fine that there's fucking teenagers and people in China that are like, that's cool. I can work for 5 cents and just buy a bread and some rice and then live on that. That's fine to me. Maybe that's why they're so good at meditating, because they have to actually be able to endure this. But for us to take advantage of that is and also lose our own jobs in the process to these fucking people that are then living miserable lives, even though they say they're fine with it, but maybe they're not. That is fucked up. That is.
I got an example for you here. this is for like a job that I chose not to take. But
You gotta re-listen to the end of this.
yeah, I will
You
re-listen
gotta,
to
you
the end
gotta,
of this.
and I will do that too because
Yeah, yeah,
fuck,
for
man,
sure, for sure.
I feel like tonight we're not really comprehending the scope of our brains tonight. Like even I don't really understand what I'm like putting out there.
For instance,
But
man,
yeah.
I would like get this example out before like it manages to escape my brain. But you know, like a couple of years ago, I went to interview for this company that for the job as a service manager. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, like, but like you know, like it was just so fucking shady, because like when I'm like going on their webpage, then it's like 50 fucking people, you know, like looks really professional and shit, right? And
Yeah.
then I come here, you know, to this fucking farmhouse that looks beat down and looks more like the inhabitant of it looks more like it inhabits like a couple of meth addicts than a company with 50 employees, right? So I get here, and then there is a Danish white male in his 50s and a Filipino woman. And you know, like as I like get into this and I complete the interview and I ask more into this, like, okay, so where's all the people, you know, on your webpage and stuff, and then you know what the answer is, like, ha, oh man, like they're all working out of Manila in the Philippines for $250 a month.
Yeah, for the whole, that's the whole production cost.
Yeah, like $250 a month for each of these fucking 50 employees.
Wow,
That's still, yeah.
How much is? Let me just do a quick calculation on that. 250 and divided by 50, so that's $5 for every employee a month.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Right.
Jeez.
So yeah, this was like the tech supporters and the people updating the website and all that shit.
Have some fucking pride and morals, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like, what the hell, man? Like, how is that even like justifiable by even like the country to the home country to allow that?
Yeah, and I'm not saying we should fucking move in there and fucking fix China's problems, and try to like give all these fucking poor people jobs. No, fuck that. I'm just saying cut the fucking ties to them. Cut the fucking ties to them and let them run their own fucking business. If they want to overpopulate their fucking land, yeah, sure, do that. But we will fucking run our own shit. I mean,
yeah. No,
like,
I completely agree. Like, I do understand that there needs to be trade, right? But trade doesn't necessarily need to take people's jobs, because there's always
exactly.
been trade in countries. But
yeah,
the difference is that now it is not just about goods. Now it's about, you know, like virtual services, like that. Fucking dude is like, instead of like hiring a physical assistant in Copenhagen, he'll hire a virtual assistant from Shanghai for $100 a month.
Yeah.
You know, to support
yeah, and like I agree on that, and like we should go just back to how it was in the 15th century, in the 15th century, where we just were fucking trading spices and, you know, all these things that are typical or oriental goods.
Yeah.
We should trade that, because that's what they can do. That's what they specialize in. So that's what they should sell to us.
Yeah, that.
But not this fucking no, we'll just fucking have a lot of sex, produce a lot of fucking people, and then sell their fucking workforce and keep them just above the starvation line, and then sell that sell that fucking quantifiable workforce. What the fuck is that? Bullshit,
I
man.
also like
We're
think
you know what we're doing? What you know what we're doing in the West? We're fucking buying uh, a nearly starved population and workforce from China. That's what we're doing essentially.
yeah.
We're buying this the people of the services of the people in China that are almost starving. That's what we're doing. If that isn't fucking unethical, I don't know what is.
No, it's completely ethical, but so is it that their governments are owning shares in diamond mines and cobalt mines
Fuck the
in the
government. Fuck
Congo,
the
right?
government.
Yeah,
Fuck the government. Fuck the
I
government and fuck the
completely,
corporations. Fuck.
I completely agree. As like on one end, you like have the governments, like saying that, oh, we care about people and oh, we care about the environment and all that shit, right? But
Uh,
on the other end, on the other hand, they kind of don't when they do all this kind of shit,
uh,
right? I think like that's like the perfect cue for us to end the podcast
yeah,
episode,
yeah.
as we are also like on almost an hour. Um,
Yeah, damn.
but
Although
like this,
it's still nothing compared to the 22nd episode of The Corner, which is the longest episode we've ever done.
yep,
I
yep,
just realized that today, which was 1 hour and 45 minutes. But that's also because that was Better Call Saul, and there is no TV show that is as good as that.
yeah. We need
Gotta
to make
admit.
another episode on that soon. Anyways, folks, like this, that was that for this episode, and cheerios from Pat and Alex. Hope that you'll all subscribe and like this episode on YouTube if you enjoyed what you heard. Thank you, and until next time, buenos dias, people.